Hi, I'm Opogo community expert Paul Boyd, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 reasons why you should treasure your TA. Well, first of all, of course, I don't have to tell you to treasure your TA, because if you're lucky enough to have one, they are, absolutely worth their weight in gold. Rather than give you 5 reasons why to treasure them, I'm going to give you maybe 3 reasons why you should treasure them, and maybe a couple of tips about how you can look after them as well. First of all, they are, for you, a fantastic point of consistency in your classroom. The children have you for consistency as their teacher. The TA can be that source of everyday balance for you, helping you with your different routines, of course, helping you with your different resource preparation and things like that, but also keeping you almost emotionally consistent as well. And that brings me on to my second reason why you should treasure them. You have another adult in the room. So often when you're surrounded by children all day, it can be quite hard to regulate yourself, I think, sometimes if you're a bit stressed or if things are getting on top of you. And having another adult in the room is great because you can bounce off them as you would perhaps your friends in a way that's appropriate for the classroom. I always find when I have a TA there, I'm referring to them when I'm talking about the information that's being discussed in the lesson. I might ask them to give their point of view about something that I've said. So they're really good to have as a sort of amplifier for what you're talking about in your lesson. Which now brings me on to the third reason why you should treasure them, especially here in London, and of course everywhere else in the country as well. Our TAs are often incredibly well-educated, well-informed people, and therefore they are fantastic sources of wisdom as well. They may have knowledge and skills that you don't know about because they don't necessarily use them in the classroom. And it's really worth getting to know your TAs, even if you only see them once a week or a couple of times a week, to find out what it is they know about, what it is they're passionate about, because you could end up really exploiting that, for lack of a better word, in your lessons. Just as an example, I have someone who works in one of my classes who has a master's degree in music, and she's incredibly knowledgeable about all things musical. So when I'm working with the children and we're doing that subject, she is really a point of reference that I can lean on. It's fantastic. So last 2 things, while you're treasuring them, make sure you keep their schedule varied and interesting. Mix it up for them, give them different tasks, make sure that they're not bored or doing mundane things day in and day out, because that will mean they're disengaged and giving less than their best for you. And that brings me on to my last point. Something that we often do as teachers is we have termly meetings with our line managers, and we reflect and all that stuff. Make sure you're doing that with any long-term TAs that you have as well. If you're a primary school teacher and you see the same member of staff every day, are you taking time out to sit with them and asking them, how are things going? Are you happy with what you're doing? Is there anything I'm asking you that you're finding difficult or need support with? And really making sure that they're having the best experience possible in your classroom so that you and your students have the best day that they can. Thank you for listening to me today. For more content, head over to the Opogo app.